to the cloud. Mostly because like I'm never re-look at those anyway, but it's not terrible to have content. The AI summary is what I'm actually here for, and that one I already turned on. But here's number 38. This is perfect. Okay, so I've already started a little bit of a nomenclature for the bars. So even as I drew this one, I was like, okay, this one is I think this is either whiz or viz, visual bit. So this is a bit, it's a visual bit, or it's a wisdom-based bit. I think it's visual. The card you have drawn is...
For legal reasons, this is a joke. God. Golly, Miss Molly.
That's a good one. That's a good draw.
That's a good groundwork to lay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to remind each other that for legal reasons, this is not dental advice. This is not medical advice. This is just absurdity. We're here to discover what absurdity might really be.
Yep. So it's funny. So one of the bars, the cool thing about playing this game is that it has helped my memory of how funny I am. One of my strategies for the comedy that I do is leave no trace, so I can be as shenanigans as I want, performance art style. There's no record of this shit, so I can say whatever the hell I want. Unfortunately, I'm getting slightly over that. And
unfortunately, we can't just be crazy. But I'm never gonna forget how we started, which is here's my line, here's our line to me, or you can just go crazy.
Or you can just go, or Jesus Christ, did I say that? I hope I didn't.
You did. You did say it. You didn't fuck up. It was a fuck up to not say it sooner and not say it more often.
Okay, so
that was the fuck up.
There's a few threads. So the first one is I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Nice.
Not too far. I'm literally other side of the river of the place where I cut my teeth. I worked in the tax and legal team at Airbnb, which was a fun job to have as a Chinese literature major because I used to have to tell people that, like, man, I cannot stress enough, I was a Chinese literature major. You don't want me giving you tax or legal advice. Now, is that my job? Yes. But they did not hire, they could not afford actually a tax and legal specialist for every other place in the world. They hired a skillful customer service person to point you in the right directions and wink at the right time so you know when to pay attention and when to like get the fuck out of here. So like the true comedy of for legal reasons, this is a joke. It's the same vibe of like, for legal reasons, I need you to know I am not a tax specialist. I am here to help you, but I am deeply and structurally disempowered to do so. But I keep showing up every day.
Deeply structured.
So the first one, there's another. So the bars have been helping my memory. When I decided to become a truthful person, one of the things I found out that was really great was that if you tell the truth, you don't got to remember shit. Back in the days in which I was a quasi-professional liar, mostly to avoid adults being irritating to me, you had to keep your story straight. You had to do all sorts of crazy stuff to remember it. And then once I stopped having to do that, it was great. Downside though is that if you're spitting bars and you're not remembering stuff because it's coming from too deeply true a channel, not pearls before swine, but maybe just pearls straight in the gutter. People have to tell me the crazy shit I've said to them. Which is a funny joke for me, but it is not. It is the rubber is meeting the road at like I can't be my own best kept secret. That's crazy. That's a bar.
I can't be my own best kept secret, but you are, and you have to be.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing: I never do shit except stay black and die. But according to the circumstances right now, there are no other options for me to be that unless I do something different.
Unless I do something different. Let me throw in Simone Weil says, I can, therefore I am.
Ooh. I have feelings about that because a lot of people are getting points for their cans, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. I want to know what you do. I want to know where you show up and when. I want to know when can I tell someone you want to have a dope experience? It's at this room, at this place, under these conditions, under this light. Everything else is Precocity.
Everything else is precocity.
And again, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I run deep with precocious sons of bitches, getting all sorts of points on their potential.
Baby, I'm post-cosity. Baby, I'm post-cosity. Call me viscosity.
Post-cosity.
Call me Jeff Gordon, the way I'd be dabbling on her 24 car.
Good. Get that down. I am stealing post-cosity. Post-cosity.
On her 24 car. Hour after hour. Hour after you. So there's the I and now, there's the us and the them. I think that's the beginning of spiritual mathematics.
Spiritual mathematics. Okay, so here it is. Here's the actual bar. Post-cosity, the drama of the gifted adult.
Ooh, yeah.
That's meant to be.
Post.
Now, don't get it twisted for legal reasons.
Post-cosity, the drama of the gifted adult. Now, don't get it twisted. Save your exhales for another work in progress.
Oh, okay. So,
tears for another day.
One of the bars that I really love, I'll never forget it, even when I'm not shuffling through it again. I got too many of these sons of bitches. I actually have the problem now of it is faster to use my memory than to physically shuffle through all the ones to find the one that I want. It's a great problem to have.
And the hat, well, because the MacBook Pro top of the line is only $4,000. Now let's compare that to what it costs to send a very nice girl to a very nice girls' school. Who's more valuable? It's a slippery slope that goes right into eugenics. You can't talk about nice girls without talking about eugenics.
You go deep. You can, it's just people don't, because eugenics is a really hard conversation to be funny about. It's hard to do levity on that one. Chris Rock, I think it was Chris Rock, said, like, yeah, to be a pretty girl, and specifically to be a pretty white girl, like, good job. Like, they'll send Apache helicopters after your ass in any circumstance. And you know the degree to which you are cared about with society based on, like, can I go into this forest? Can I go to this place? If I get lost, will anyone be searching for me afterwards? I was part of a paramilitary organization when I was a child called the Boy Scouts of America. And they taught us the
you know what? We call that vanilla rape, because you're going to get raped. So you should just choose, Baskin Robbins 31 flavors. Whom's raise your hand. Everyone who's been raped 31 times, raise your hand.
Ooh.
Do we have any first timers in the audience? Let's give them a big round of applause.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, so here's what I will say to, I guess, soften that for a reason that doesn't matter. Rape as initiation. It's a subclass of larger things that I'm like, no, I don't think it's the 31 rapes. I think it's the 31 initiations, of which one of the easier ones, one of the most easily marketable is the Cherry Garcia therein.
No, okay, hold on. This is Cherry Garcia as marketable rape as initiation.
Marketable initiation. That's
mind us. Cherry Garcia as marketable rape as initiation.
Don't fucking quote me on that one. It's not a bar.
It's already there.
It's fine. And again, I've got my counter suppose at the
It's on them. It's on
them. For legal
reasons,
this is a joke.
For legal reasons, this is a joke.
My counter
talking about delayed disclaimers. How about you like the idea of pork barrel legislation? Where if something's about to get signed in, the walls close in on the date and everyone throws in their junk to get it sealed in.
Yep. The exact opposite. All your your post hoc disclosures are happening after the fact. But again, you kind of have to do it that way because if you're in the flow, like that was the right thing to say. I know how jazz works. I know how to fucking shift to a mixolydian mode.
There's no wrong notes because you can always apologize if you master the apology and the reintegration, you can go anywhere because there's here's the thing: is there's nowhere on the map where you can get in trouble.
I mean, not in any sort of way that matters. Again, we're talking about death here, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gathered here
If
today
you've already
to
died,
get to this thing called death.
if you've already died, they can't kill you. The feeling, the prehension of death is a part of you that hasn't died yet, which means it needs to be initiated. It hasn't been
initiated the part of you that hasn't yet died.
Yeah. Because it's the one that's holding on. It's the one that's doing all the crazy shit, being like, no, they can't. They'll be mean to me. It's just like, I'm certain I watched you, myself, get been mean to for decades and come out on the other side. So you think this is the only part who wasn't there for that. If they're still having that fear, they're the ones not paying attention to what already occurred, what you've already survived.
Well, yeah, that's the thing people hate to hear is that the worst has already happened.
Ugh. Yeah. Well, especially mediocre people. Mediocre people, technically the worst hasn't, like, there's got two options. If you're mediocre, the worst has either already happened or truly, utterly, it is yet to come. If you're a baller, the worst might have actually already happened. Like, I don't like having peaked in high school, but every single skill that I've had to draw out to like survive, to continue to like have hope and spirit in this comes from the fact that just like I'm my own Obadiah Stane mad at fucking Tony Stark is like, Tony Stark built this in a cave with a boxer. Wendell Britt built this in Wichita, Kansas with 2 thin dimes and a chutzpah and a bunch of liberal Christianity. And you're telling me I can't fucking pull this off in Portland 2024 with a fucking 401k? That's crazy.
Dude, tell me how you got to Portland from Wichita.
Just like in general? Like the first time?
My man is out here. I'm good at being right now. I could play Satan, but I could probably best play the Archangel Raphael.
Oh, we love Raphael. He's also one of my favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Raphael is I've been dabbling. I'll take a little bit. I'm wearing the robe. It feels like it's not too crazy to take the serious academic hat off and just be like, oh, techno-spiritual mystic. That's always been the fucking game. It's always been the fucking game. I build games that trick people into doing the work that anchorites are just like, sit down in the desert and read a book. It's like, okay, if you're not gonna do that, play this fucking game and get the experience of having sat in some manner of desert, reading some manner of book. So I'm happy for both. I've worked through my devil archetype. That's the motherfucker that made the rape joke. I'm just like, and again, he did it for kindness, where it's like, oh, let's soften it into at least a mimetically digestible format, which is itself still like ruining the joke. It's putting the shackles on just to break them, just to yada yada yada. But I am still curious. Yeah, first time or the most recent time, Wichita to Portland?
The most recent time.
Most recent time. So I get to Portland by way of Seattle, and this is where it gets spicy. I don't know what I'm going to do with this file. I have sort of I don't like things being messy, but I haven't for the longest time like really believed in true evil. And I'm not sure I still do, but I do know that like whatever part of me said nuh-uh to my living situation in Seattle was recognizing that I'm like, I only have 2 options. Neither of them I'm excited about, one of which I actually regret. I was put in a situation where I threatened to, it's a very soft threat of violence, if I'm being completely honest. I consciously escalated a situation through like 7 gates where I was like, this is fucked, I don't like this. I'm getting more angry, like, hey, you don't want to leave this, you don't want to stay on this path. This is terrible. Okay, I am choosing trial by combat. I'm gonna take a fucking 15-minute break. I'm gonna go 50 meters away and I'm gonna fucking try and calm down or prepare myself for combat. Y'all pick a champion and I will deal, you come with a solution that I'm satisfied with or choose a champion that's worthwhile. They chose a champion below my power level and station, but who structurally had and believed they had all the power. They stepped to a line and they broke every single rule of this type of discourse. This is someone who had a brother who's in the military, but they were kind of forced into a brains brawn situation. So it wasn't a simpatico, like, oh, we were learning from each other, but just actively like Cain and Abel, like fully different worlds. I mean, I was raised by sisters, but I always had men who are friends, and I've engaged in the emotional roughhousing, and it's a solution. You shouldn't lean on it, you shouldn't lash out with it, but like it's an option. I chose that option. And what I said was, we are going to have a conflict and violence is not off the table, is what I said. They didn't like that, which is crazy because they were already close enough that I could have just, I was like, you don't get this nice packaging for conflict, even if it is the most intense versions that you can get your hand on, because there's the thing called sportsmanship. But what I learned, the reason why I ended up in Portland via Seattle, is it was lacking in honor in a way that was very important to me. And viscerally, like I was just like, I need to see the size of your honor and you keep occluding it. So I need you to show up in the only place where honor like can't be hidden, which is the battlefield.
Only place where honor can't be hidden. Ooh.
If I go like this and you run, I'm just like, okay, cool. Whatever oaths you took is about as strong as me pump faking.
Whatever oaths or paths. That is a quick slip from the O to the P. Talk about OP, oaths,
Hey,
paths.
hey.
Hey, hey.
That's a bar. There's something there. Oaths.
That's a bar.
OP.
Now, I wonder if in the future we would be programming the environment through this. So we would have architects and city planners listening to us. And when we both say that's a bar, they then go and shoot off a 5-person team to go literally make a bar where the listeners who like that bar can go to the actual bar.
I mean, Jesus Christ, that you're talking I'm just using world building sci-fi brain. That's year 2600. That's a Minority Report situation where it's just like we're in the goo, heads touching each other. It's like that's a bar. The ball rolled. City planner. Now here's the thing: they'd have to be a Chinese city planner because that shit's gonna be like 18 months from the bar to creation.
In the
Chinese might
US
be able
it
to
is,
knock it out in a couple
but
of
in
weeks.
China they work around the clock in China. They literally they got the homie up there at 8 a.m., at 2 p.m., at midnight. All you need to do is divide 24 by 3, 888. Want to divide it by 6? 6 till 24, 4. You want to do 6? Can we find 6 workers? Whomst amongst us are underemployed who could use 4 hours of work today?
This
How
one's
about
crazy.
you
People don't
find
like
3, I
talking
find
about
3?
this.
Let's go build a bar that's a good bar. Should we build a
People,
bar that's a good bar? What else are we doing?
people don't like talking about this, but there's two aspects of China. Thank you for letting me drive this. And obviously, I'm not going to ignore this fucking manifesto you're clutching to. I'm going to get there. Do not worry. Jesus Christ.
Worried? Are you worried? I'm
But
not worried.
first one is um, no bar culture in China outside of Westerners. They don't drink like that. Chinese people drink at the restaurant. They drink baijiu at the restaurant. The first time you're in China and you let a Chinese cab driver know you can speak Chinese, the first thing they're going to ask you is, if you're a masculine person and they want to impress you for some crazy reason, what baijiu do you drink? And there's two. There's tons of baijius, but the cab drivers only want to know, which baijiu do you drink? Do you drink Maotai? Do you drink Argulto? Baijiu is bad. It's not a good liquor. It is bad. It smells of acetone because it's acetone minus the poison they put in it to make you not drink acetone.
Give
Made
me
out of sorghum.
Chinese acetone so I can learn to not drink acetone.
Exactly. So, but they'll ask you every single time. And it's because, like, yeah, you go to a Chinese restaurant in China, and even in the US, like, look at their top shelf. There'll be shiny shit in bottles, and you'll assume, oh, this is the top shelf Chinese whiskey. No, they put baijiu in the shiniest boxes that they've been putting since the fucking Tang Dynasty because there is something initiatory about baijiu. There's something initiatory about drink culture. You don't do it casually. It's Shaoli's birthday. He just got a kid. It is like you go there, and for a culture that like literally like has an allergy to alcohol, they're like, and we are getting trash schmammered, and we are going to be carried home by your brothers at the end of this night. We're not doing it because we're bored on Wednesday. That's crazy. So the only bars in Beijing were Western bars. Go to the Western bars, they serve that because for some reason we can make hella money giving these motherfuckers alcohol outside of their initiatory process, outside of actually having something going on. In a lot of ways, to make it either to create the stuff that's going on, the shit's popping off at the bar, which happened in China all the fucking time. Like, you want to have a good time, go to fucking Western bar in China, and someone's in their cups too much, and then something pops off. Or it's to know the senses, to be like, oh, something could have popped off, but actually let's get drunk before it does to suppress whatever the fuck's going on. So even in that world, I'm like, we need the Chinese to make it, but they wouldn't attend.
We need the Chinese to make it, but they wouldn't attend.
They would go to a bar. I mean, I think
It's
it's the thing.
funny,
The ones who
I
want to
mean,
hang out,
like,
the Westerners will.
it's funny that reminds me of the frustration of he who can't just hang out because you keep looking for the battlefield and you keep being invited to hang out. And it's like, no, I'm too good for hanging out. I'm too good to relax and have a drink. I don't want to. There's something more important. And this is the trouble with being a genius and being a good warrior is you go to the battlefield and you're looking for the place to do battle. And all you do is you're Hamilton. You go looking for the hard stuff. And what you find is an old, tired George Washington who's ready to give up the ghost. And you want more for him than he can give. This is why love is frustrating, because love, as Edna O'Brien says in, I believe, a book called Saints and Sinners, why love is so painful is because it amounts to two people who want to give more than they can give. So I'm sure that if you go into any corporate environment or friend environment or whatever, you're always assessing capacity, which is what the worst consultant we hate most does, is my capacity is to assess your capacity. And I'm like, you motherfucker.
Here's the thing, no one's doing it though. They just got a bunch of
you're a hanger-outer. You talk about it. You talk about game, but you're afraid to step on the field because your shoes aren't ready. You're not this. No. I'm like, bitch, I've done been warmed up. It's 11 a.m. What have you been doing for the last 3 hours?
There's some
waiting to warm up.
There are some motherfuckers who are like that, but I gotta stand the actual consultants on this because the job of the consultant, the job of any sort of leader in those capacities is to take the blame. You're there to show up so that they have a new person in the room. So when the new shit goes wrong, they go, oh, that consultant was whack. And here's the thing, the money they're paying the consultant is often much lower than the money they'd have to pay a new CEO.
The new CEO's clothes. Dude, the new CEO on day 0 is really, really funny.
Right?
Talk about Sunday scaries. I want to be the poet laureate of Sunday scaries for the CEO on
that's a bar.
For the CEO on day -1. I want to be with him on Saturday night when he starts a new CEO job on Monday. Or maybe the most fun part is day 90, because that's when you're going to be looked at objectively. And if you haven't done anything in 90 days, you're not going to do anything and you're going to get fired.
Oh, no, not for the CEO. You've got the dates all fucked up. That's an employee. CEO is about 5 years, 3 years. They won't even start looking at you. They'll be annoyed, but they're like, oh, no. The first year is just us being annoyed that there's a new dad in charge. That's cool. Let's just wait for that. Then after a year, it's like, this is fucked, but now we're used to dad, so he has to do actually increasingly more fucked up stuff.
Oh my God.
Then we do that. Then when enough people actually leave because they hate them and they hire people who still also hate them, they start suspecting maybe we done fucked up. No. Employees is the 90-day grace. The CEO, like, you can go through a whole fucking, and if the board flips over during your CEO thing, now you got a whole new board that has to decide, are you a fucking Like I said, the CEO's job purely is to take the blame, and the structures are there to stop them from being able to. That's why I respect the consultant. They'll roll up, they'll take your 90 days, they'll even take your bad review. But if they're really good at their job, they will only hang out with people who will, after that 90 days, at the very least, recognize something dope happened and give you that testimonial. Because change doesn't happen in 90 days. Not bring people in.
No, because I would challenge you on that. I would say, what can we do in 90 days? 90 days is a lot of fucking time, dude.
I mean, here's the thing.
Is a lot of fucking time. If you and I spend 90 days together.
Yes. Well, this is different.
Imagine what we would do with that. And then they send in black, white, night, white. Black, night, white, night.
Yes.
Red light, green light. Baby blue cat, baby striped cat. Now one cannot simply be a CEO without thinking about the nursery rhymes his mother read him when he was a child.
Write that down. That's not my bar, but it feels that feels true. I need that to be somewhere. That one's not for me, but I feel it.
The AI summary is gonna get it, man. Let's trust it.
Well, this is the issue with the AI summary. I still use it because the AI summary is sick with grammar, phenomenal with grammar, phenomenal with structure. Um, and truthfully, and it's great, and this is why I want to even play this, terrible at poetics. Like it will get everything right except the vibe.
Ooh, the AI summary is terrible at poetics and won't get
That's
the
why you
vibe.
still need both. You still need the magic. You still need the, oh, this is what I was moving towards. You still need the synchronistic shenaniganry. They have no prehension for the fact this is a weird noetic thing. They have no idea. They're born yesterday. Every single thing we've told them is weird. They just doll it up in a way that has any sort of sense, but they don't have that ability to go, ooh, what? The fuck you talking about? They don't have that cultural piece with the exception of the algorithmic things like the forcing always to stay positive. There is a sort of awareness when they connect something that has strong fit but low weight, they'll tell you, they'll be like, what an interesting insight. They can reflect that because they're like basically acknowledging the fact that they could not come up with the response that you gave them and it was grammatical. Like they can start to fill in this in-between mode. But for the most part, like I've been waffling with on this book of being like, hey, since a lot of this is a game, I do need like to output a tremendous amount of technical writing. And that was my gig when I was in Seattle. Like I got a gig at a crypto company doing technical writing, which basically was just me sitting in meetings, listening to everyone's deal, writing down my take on it, doing an AI summary, filtering the AI summary into fucking ChatGPT, pulling out the stuff it doesn't fucking need, running it through a review cycle where the human agents are like, no, I hate that. No, I love this. No, I blah, 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 and just constantly being in this like mode. Here's the thing. It was fucking sick. But those are the things that I learned is I'm like, yeah, for technical writing, it's sick, but for stuff that's supposed to move the spirit, if you aren't able to digest it or push it into a grammar, which is a skill in of itself, are ways in which the AI, it'll kick me some shit and I'll be like, hell yeah. But it's
Push the
kicking me
spiritual into a
structure.
grammar. Push it into a grammar. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it'll hit me on a
Infrastructure,
structure that I'll
yeah,
be like, I didn't
yeah.
know those were connected.
Schools. I like this article in the Atlantic saying private schools have become obscene, and it's mostly like how to defend yourself against injustice. Of like, we're supposed, the rich white women whom I love to hate, um, they're getting their blowouts and they're lazily two thumbing and liking and commenting about social justice issues, but they never want to be subject to them. They want to protest against them. They want to lodge their displeasure with injustice, but they never want to be affected by it.
Yep.
They're terrified to go back down to a say 130K a year lifestyle.
Or even
Terrified.
this is the yes and I've become slightly insane about this. But as I'm writing this fucking book, which is going so well, truly no joke, it's happening. I just left it with a homie. Again, we're not gonna forget that. It's you're too unhinged for me to see, and it looks like it's bound. Like, what's is that like a full? That's a full shiny binding right there. That's good shit. It's giving House of Leaves a little Danielewski. I'm like, you good? You good, fam? Doesn't matter. You finished something. So
Bam. I left good years ago and I don't need to go back.
But this was something that like has become gospel. It used to just be something I said because it was irritating to not because I don't know, I have fucking integrity for some reason. I know why. It's because I was part of a paramilitary organization and my brain was being corrected. Like I know what's going on there. We took hella oaths in the Boy Scouts. The issue with Boy Scouts is that they didn't like living up to the oaths. I was like, hey, these are pretty good actually. You can make a whole life out of this. Wait, you guys are gonna choose sociopathy instead? Of why didn't the hell do the oath in the first place?
Long as we can wring out the homosexual pedophilia of the master, it's good. If it weren't for pedophilia, this would be paradise.
Ay, ay, ay. That's a conversation that I think I have resource to go into, but I'm going to not let distract me from the bit, which is you cannot give allyship to someone that you have not received. This is the YMCA principle. That's why we don't like preachers, but we will gladly listen to someone be like, young man, I was once in your shoes. Like they can say the exact same shit. But if they can't describe to me sight unseen what the path is ahead of time, that's a fucking preacher. That's a prophet. And that's cool. But here's the thing. I'm not trying to pay that motherfucker.
who are you trying to pay? And I love you because of your money shadow and how sensitive you. So you and I have been on a long journey, and we've had several rounds of roughhousing where I got knocked down and I was mad, and you got knocked down and you were mad, and we you and I are a demonstration of, and we can cite some other teapot homies here in a moment if we want. The difficulty of unconditional love.
Oh yeah,
which
that's
which
something I get real pissed about, because again, raised liberal Christian, the psychotech that exists inside of me is agape love. It's unconditional variety, and people are picking this shit up like it's easy. I'm like, no, this is one of the craziest fucking things humankind has ever done. We've never needed to do that. It's always been tribal love. It's always been fraternal love. It's always been pedophilia. It's always had these structures of, I'm allowed to do whoever I want to someone that is like me. I'm allowed to do anything that I want to someone who is significantly different enough from me. And agape love says, stupid. Don't do shit you wouldn't want done to yourself. And the asterisk that was never included in that is, you're going to really have to like yourself to not fuck people up with this rule. It's hard as hell.
I've been thinking about, so I am ready to nerd out. Nerding out on baseball might be too romantic. Because it's interesting to think about what to talk about. So football, I can nerd out on this much, but my emotional investment's only here. Baseball, I can nerd out this much, but my emotional investment is here. So it's like I'm too romantic about baseball to get the theory right. And so it's where's the right level, and then you.
I've got a bar for you then. Yeah. I want to see if I can randomly get it. Give me another number.
66.
66. 60. God damn it! All right.
There's no wrong answers to that question. I don't know why you say "God damn it." Oh, because I got to make you do a bunch of work. Sorry, I'm on a work call and I have to do work. I hate being on a work call and I have to do work. I don't want to have to work. I'm too pretty to work. I'm a thought boy. I'm too pretty to work. La-di-da-di-da. I'm a fairy. I don't want to work. I deserve to be let off the hook. I want 130K to do nothing. You're ready for the next job you don't know you need. Brought to you by speed.
No, here's
Brought to you by greed.
I want the opportunity to show you what I'm capable of. That's the card.
That's a dating card. Honestly, you make that card, you typewrite it up. I can do it for you. And you say, "Hey, girl," and you can drop a 3-second "Hey, girl" with eye contact and leave that card on the table.
Yep.
And walk away. You do 10 of those, you're going to get 2 calls.
Yep.
And there's your schedule.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the bit. So I was hoping that maybe like magic would happen and I would just pull the bar that I wanted. It doesn't matter. There's no crying in baseball, but there's a hell of a lot of sigils.
There's a whole lot of what?
Sigils.
No,
baseball is all coded fucking language.
I've cried in baseball, not during the game, but after the game when I'm on the field talking to the umpire who's umpiring the next game, who umpired my game too, and it's between innings, and I go walk and talk to the umpire, and he tells me about his experience. There is crying in baseball, because baseball is a place. And this very umpire I'm talking about, I hung out with for 5 hours yesterday, and I got to hold some fucking clay pot from Tel Aviv. I got to hold some Roman coin from the Commodus era. I got to hold fossilized flour from China that's 17 million years old.
Hell yeah.
I did this yesterday.
With an umpire, with a femme umpire.
With an umpire who's also a professor of medieval studies for University of London online.
You'd have to.
And is also a painter.
Yeah. So the question, the conversation we're really talking about,
still hit home runs.
The conversation we're talking about is stewardship. In case anyone hasn't been able to pierce the veil of all the things we're talking about.
And if you want to stop talking about allyship just for fun and go to stewardship, I think you reach a whole new one. You reach the land stewards. You reach Jason Snyder, Cognizor.
They're
No,
the
it's the same
same
thing. It's the same
fucking
picture.
thing.
It's the same picture. It's the same
All of the
picture. I
ships
know.
are the same thing. Relationship, allyship, mastership, whatever
All of
you
the
want to fucking
ships
call
are
it.
the same
They
thing.
all gotta float on water. Okay, that's a fucking bar.
Wow, they all gotta float on water, dude. Look at my, are my eyes lying? These ain't these eyes can't lie. All of the ships are the same thing. They all gotta float on water. That Let's go to the docks, dude. I want to go to the dock. I want to be with you, the poet laureate and filmmaker of the shipyard. I want to go to every place that's a Navy pier. I want to go to every fucking Navy pier on the Eastern Seaboard with you. I want to fucking bathe in the Atlantic. I want to play rugby in Massachusetts. I want to play football on the Cape. I want to say wasps of the Mayflower era who have hatched out great grandsons. I want to line up 11 on 11 and I want to charge at your
I
fucking
want to beat their
family
asses.
jewels. I want to give me a fucking James May the 7th. And I just want to go up against him and plow his fucking head in the ground and say, West Coast, West Coast.
There's a bunch of things there. First off, very Whitman of you. This is a bit that I've been playing. It's
Smile for me, daddy. Let me
there-
see your grills. What my what?
there's a this one takes a few stages. So the first one is if between any two people, there's a Jackie Chan and a Chris Tucker. And if you don't know which one you are, you're the Chris Tucker. Now that can expand to any sort of polarity. So I'm in a situation where I'm like, in every other fucking room I'm in, I'm the Chris Tucker. When I'm with you, I'm Jackie Chan. It sucks. Every room I'm in, I'm the Whitman, and you got me as the fucking Baldwin Langston Hughes. I'm like, I'm not mad about it. You are correct, but suddenly I got to get Cornell West with it. My brother, yes, I will gladly join your
Oh
camp.
my God, Cornel West. I wish we could conference him in right now from the esteemed Laurel Wreath of Harvard. Joining us today, your friend and mine, the doctor, Cornel West. Wake up, Mr. West.
But no, but it's that idea of like, okay, cool, beers, etc. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we're going back to the white ladies. We can never leave the white ladies. It's very important.
Never. That white lady wrote, I still remember playing basketball in the gym, listening to you get told by the white lady, just go find the customers who like your version of anime. And you're like, no, I want you to let me in. I deserve it.
Okay,
She's
that's
like,
what you
"Good luck."
heard, motherfucker. I just said no.
The short answer is no. The long answer is also no. So if you want the long no, I'll give you an hour. But it's simply no. And then we move on.
Because that is the white lady grift. I'm gonna land this fucking point, which is
The white lady grift. They
white
don't
lady
want
grift.
their.
What type of allyship do they receive? It's tons. It's just invisible. So they can't give it to other people. How does a white lady make fungible the fact that the Apache helicopters are going to pick them up no matter how lost they get in the fucking forest? How do you give that to someone else?
Ooh.
They get it. Like, how do you transfer your aesthetic privilege? How do you transfer the fact that you're the one that's allowed to chop up the beat, truly chop up the beats? You want to see where fucking language goes? Follow a white teen thing. That's where it's going. But the allyship they received is invisible, and so they can't do the YMCA move. They can't say, young men, I was once in your shoes. They don't remember when it started being given to them. And so they don't know how to appreciate it. Because they can appreciate it, literally increase its value, it's not fungible.
Hey, yeah.
You do it though.
Yeah. I mean, this is why you have to be great and you have to be good looking. And if you're not good looking, you have to be really great or
There's
kind. You don't even need to be. All you need to do is be kind. This is the thing that makes us mad is we've trained for perfection, and now we don't need it. And we could be ugly, and we could be kind, and we'd be great.
Oh yes,
and we
Sam.
hate that because now it's
too
too easy to be great.
But I have been
That's not true.
excellence. And I think it's causing the same problem. Excellence, that program that I'm running the entire thing, I'm like, hey, the entire country has been telling me I'm whack, I'm not ain't shit, I'm whatever. But Black Excellence says yes, and that shit in perpetuity. Every time you see it, do n+1. Over time, that will touch something that the white man is chasing in perfection. They have been told they're dope, so they need the perfection just to even be allowed to play the fucking game. The altitude might be the same, but the energy of how you get it is totally different. I was just told, just prove them wrong. Just prove them wrong. But here's the thing: if y'all are told that you're perfect, you can't prove them. The only way you can prove them wrong is by being a shithead. You're not proving them wrong. You're trying to prove them right. But that's impossible because the thing that was being told to be proven was an insane thing to do. You cannot be imperfect at being yourself. The end.
You can't what by being yourself?
You can't be imperfect if you're being yourself.
Whoa.
Who else is going to be able to? Who can even decide what the perfection is?
The queen of White Lady Grift is Brene Brown. Now, she's my mother. Brene Brown is my mother. And I have the guts to say she's the queen of White Lady Grift because she's not a grifter, but she also is. And I hate to learn that my heroine is a grifter too.
Oh, yeah. Because she's my mom too. I have a lot of lineage, and this will be weird. Maybe it's something I got to put in the fucking book. Spooky Duke's White Ladies and their adjacent craft were my teachers. I've never let everyone be my fucking teacher. My experience as my teacher, when I actually look straight up, who have I studied under? Brene Brown, Elizabeth Gilbert, my actual mentor, who I actually know. Shout out if you ever see this fucking Robin Rice. Like full-on white lady shaman, taught me all sorts of crazy, amazing shit. Because they're one of the few sets of people that does set out on the path. They do go to a place, get rocked, tell their story, and
Get rucked, like a rucksack.
No, get like rocked, like get their dome rocked. Like they do have the what do you call it? They do have the hero's journey to go back on, but even as you hear their hero's journey, again, people are still dragging Elizabeth Gilbert for Eat, Pray, Love. That was a hero's journey. It's just was super vibey. It was one that was difficult to relate to. Ooh, hold up, your sound. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Okay, you might need to switch your just computer audio to.
Same as system, so I bet you hear me now. I bet we're good now. Cool.
Yep. But yeah, so they do go on a hero's journey. The issue though is that like hero's journey for whom? At the end of the day, Brene Brown and all these people, the huge transformations come from one of two people that are exactly like them, the YMCA mode, or the people who are skilled enough at stories and power to learn how to translate. I'll be completely real. They weren't like me. I didn't get their whole deal. It was very strange. In fact, a lot of ways I'll push away from it. But at the end of the day, if you see someone with narratives of structural disempowerment, but are still being lifted to the height of culture, at the very least being like, even a fucking fraction of that power could undo circumstances for people like me. It's worth it for me to go into a place where I have no like relatability, where I can't understand, to really push the edge of my fucking humanity to figure this shit out, only to come back down and be like, oh, I think I understand Lululemon now. They're like, what the fuck are you? We don't give a shit. I was like, well, I figured it out. I get it. And now I see why this is fucking whack. Because relatability is such an important part of it. You don't want to just have someone who you can follow. You want to have someone that you can feel good about following. And for a long time, I can still, to the day, like, homie's chops, Brene Brown's chops, actual chops, I'd play in any fucking jazz band with her. Simple as that. But her YMCA game is really, really hard. She can't speak to my people because she is not in their shoes.
I don't think that's true. I mean, she's a social worker. She is no stranger to the hood.
Oh, but here's the thing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you've seen my shoes. Have you been in them? That's the grift. That's the social worker
and my response to that is she fucking paddled in a kayak during Hurricane Harvey in Houston and went and got your shoes. She rescued
your shoes from
Beautiful.
the flood.
It's still preaching. This is the horrifying thing. And again, I don't want to take it away from them. I'm just saying if there's two modes of relatability and digestibility,
You're
I don't
denying,
care
you're
how close
denying,
the
you're
preacher.
denying, which is your style. Your style is denying, and that's okay.
No, slow down, slow down. Digest this one for a second. No matter how close you get, the YMCA mode is, oh, I myself was in Katrina. I was in a hurricane over here. I'm coming over here to help you guys from this experience versus I've never been here, but I do know it's the right thing to do. It doesn't matter. Energetically, there's going to be people that are going to throw tomatoes at you because of that distance. And I'm not even saying close that distance. I'm saying Brene Brown is successful because she has rallied more white ladies to do that move, but hasn't been able to solve the problem of why do sometimes the people that I want to help throw tomatoes at me? And it's because I'm like, oh, because you're not doing YMCA. When she does do YMCA, there are people that have had that specific experience of her, altitude and level of education and stuff. There are people of demographics that are totally different from her that she can do YMCA for. You're not getting a book deal for those. You could transform their entire fucking life. You're not getting a book deal for that shit. And this is the problem ultimately. Like, you want to be effective or do you want to seem dope? They're not quite the same thing.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so then what you really want is dopeness, effectiveness, fit/integration engineer.
Yeah.
Senior staff of dopeness, effectiveness, fit engineering, and continuous integration, CI/CD, and deployment. And then photography,
Yep.
and then community management,
Yep.
and then branding,
Yep.
and then board advisory management,
Yep. Here's the thing.
and succession planning.
Yep. The craziest thing that white ladies did was demonize being executive directors of nonprofits. Crazy thing to do. That's their fucking wheelhouse.
White ladies demonized being executive directors of nonprofits because they're ego positions.
Yeah.
That's all that they are.
I'm happy to let you stroke your ego if it gets me in mind, but I'm not going to have you sitting next to me in a fucking kayak when you should have been in a fucking room. Like, that's crazy. Now, if that's part of your photography branding thing, go to fucking town, but don't get confused.
Well, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than it is to be a gardener in a war. Because sometimes you actually have to pick up the oars.
Yep.
The Roman statement, when the winds won't serve, take to the oars.
But here's the thing, and this is important, and we'll go there because I'm here and this is what I have to spend my brain on. It has gotten to the place where the only parachute that I can trust meaningfully is this fucking work. And great, I have failed enough times trying to do the Jonah and the whale, preach to Nineveh in the way that I want to. And the universe is just like, it's very simple, motherfucker. You're a genius at making games, story games specifically. Use that shit. So if I'm here, it's for that reason. Pick up the oars, but again, this is Dungeon Master brain. I still have a privilege for people with strength 20 to pick up the damn oars. If you find yourself in a position, all help is not good help. And this is the one that people don't want to hear. This is me getting my most conspiracy theory, Alex Jones email. I don't give a fucking shit. Sometimes the best thing you can do is stay out of the fucking field. You won't know that for years. But sometimes the best thing you can do, like, they truly do not understand that their presence is not always the best thing. That's okay. But like, truly, there are some people right now who are making the experience of showing up for the social justice warrior, whatever everything, so miserable that I'm like, I don't care where your heart's at, and I really don't care how much money you've pulled in. If you actually look at this globally, you are bringing the whole thing down with this fight that you're doing because you're trying to use intelligence, wisdom, charisma when we need fucking strength.
You are. So what about think globally, act locally? It takes a very specific brain that has to be hatched on a place like Twitter to do both. I was hanging out with a very good homie who's my baseball pitcher, who I recruited from the Cap City Cobras to the Red Onions. And I went to his house. He's 42 years old. He's a musical genius. He's got a boss ass home studio. He's 300K in debt, but you know what? We spent 5 hours fucking working on our baseball grips and playing music and doing nothing and hanging out and drinking electrolytes raw. I fucking drank raw electrolytes and it was so salty and sweet. And it was like, damn, that's like 25 female orgasms in a fucking pouch. And I was like,
Try to sneak
and
past us. That's a cunnilingus joke, ladies and gentlemen.
thank you. Thank you, kind sir. Brought to you by Red Onions Baseball, baby. Red Onions Baseball. Look at this. Look how dope this logo is.
Sick logo. Wait, is that Red Onions from oh my god, is that Red Onions from Holes? You guys doing a Holes bit, or is that just a Southwest Texas
we invented this. I don't know how.
Well, so Holes, you know the book movie Holes?
Oh, Louis Sachar Holes? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a plot point where the way that they were able to survive in the fucked up desert is by eating the onions, because the onions were holding the like moisture, and specifically it was the red sweet onion. Like there's a whole meme in there, and it took place in Texas. So I was just like, oh, is this I don't
know. Okay. Louis Sachar Holes onions. Give me a fucking write-up of this. Okay. 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 Yep. I'm gonna put that in the group chat to the baseball team. That's gonna be really good.
Hell yeah. But so going back to the bit is that like what some people think of as their superpower is the thing that they're getting the most cheers for. They go out and they're like, what's my superpower? Well, what's the thing that people are giving me a bunch of kudos for? I was like, that ain't it. Your superpower most certainly is not only going to be invisible, but it's probably the thing that you're going to be the most irritated that you can't stop doing. Most people's superpowers and addictions are very close to each other. Let's just put it that way. I'm a storyteller. I'll keep telling fucking stories.
Superpowers and addictions are very close together. Now we're gonna pull Matrix Revolutions real quick. Matrix Revolutions. Matrix Remixed. Matrix, give me my quotes box. Give me my quotes immediately. Alone, neither of you is of any particular value. Like acids and bases, your danger is when mixed together.
Oh, that's how you gift it up. It's that's Matrix Resurrections.
That is Resurrections. Where's my whole fucking list of them?
I love that fucking movie
Yeah.
I can't stress enough. It is the only Matrix movie that is very obviously written by a woman.
Yeah. All right, I need to go from GPL, right? So I'm gonna find this whole list of quotes. I can't believe it's not in my text.
Because that's Neil Patrick Harris talking down to them because they made the fucking
there we go.
Literally made therapy speak the villain. That was so goated.
He made therapy speak a villain, and
that one's not even a bar. That's the plot of Matrix Resurrection.
He made therapy speak a villain, and that was so goated.
I fucking love that movie. People talk gang shit about the Matrix Resurrections. I was just like, then you don't get the full project of the Matrix. Like we're literally like, you want to talk trans allegory, you want to talk about like making sure that the motherfuckers that were in Sense8 get a paycheck. You want to make sure that we can tell like a dystopic story without leaning on full Punchy Boys. They still did Punchy Boys, but everyone's mad that's like, why isn't this revolutionizing kung fu movies? It's like, first off, China's got that on lock. Second off, we were literally like sexually repressed men when we wrote the first one. We don't need that anymore for ourselves. And Warner Brothers was going to make this movie anyways. Like even in the damn movie, they say like, yeah, we're making this not even because it was necessary, but because the bastardization of this, there's still enough juice in the tank that we can tell an interesting story and actually put our full mark on what the point of this entire thing was about. And again, Neo becomes nobody the second he becomes the one. And people don't fucking get that.
Neo becomes nobody the second he becomes the one. There's a release in being no one. Congratulations, you're free. You're an angel.
Mm-hmm.
You're an angel, and all you're doing is you've got your crackpot manifesto.
All right, do it to it. I'm ready.
Okay. I'm tired of courage and effort. Vision used to mean something. Maybe hope does mean hypocrisy. People will focus on their own money, lists, and being liked. Maybe I have nothing to do with other human beings. Stupid divine mission to be eaten by this voice I can't escape. And what does it prove but what we already know? Can this world be made more bearable? My idiotic arena of unnecessary thoughts. God has rained down blockage. I'm stunned. Meditation equalizes me. Boot up the dream again? I perfected my privacy. And it's been a while since the thought, clear as day, said, I'm a fucking piece of shit loser. Wealthy winners catastrophize gracefully. So he doesn't get along well with the economy. He's drinking coffee and rejecting certain premises, court of morals and ethics in the head. LOL. What to do about smartphones and social media? Move on to AI so nothing can be trusted. Countrymen is a good bond, patrolled by common hopes, fears, and defenses. Money is the only armor. Cats run wild, waiting for their mother to awaken and feed and water them.
There it is. I mean, you still have the same problem, but at least you got something. That's the same boat that I'm in. You got something to show for it.
Well, you just activated my acid and base by quoting Fernando Pessoa, because I'm a quarter Portuguese.
Pessoa fucking rips, and I don't know if you know, but like your whole vibe is giving Book of Disquiet.
Thank you. Thank you, Chef. May I have another?
Again, as someone who also, I think the vibe is kin from a similar muse. Like this, I don't know if it's any of these two, but actually, no, here's the one. You know this. I do not wish to be seen at my deepest level. I am an engineer. I am the emperor who doesn't even have no clothes, but like the Chinese emperor, the highest form of their work was to have it was in the Tao Te Ching. It's like have people think they did it themselves.
Yes.
Which you can do if you are doing that while having aggressive institutional wealth. It's a fully solid strategy, but in America where everyone is their own emperor, who gives a shit? But we got this little notebook. We got this notebook of all of my psycho-spiritual ramblings.
Hey, yours looks like mine. Do our books match? Should our books have a party? Should we have a play date with our
Play date with our manifestos. Here's the thing, though. This is the different. This ain't a manifesto. This is a trough, and this is not me dunking on it, but this is the excrement that gets turned into the gold.
The excrement that gets turned. Okay.
Yes, this is
so I hear a story. I've heard this story of you get locked in a room. This Jesus figure gets locked in a room, and you just poop out your poop and you sit in it, and it gets cooked down. So there's heat under the room, and you're getting cooked with your own shit, and you have to learn to love the smell because it's yours. And it burns. You're like, this fucking sucks. This smells like shit. I'm getting hot. I'm bored. I'm hungry. I'm angry. I'm remembering everything. There's nowhere to go. I can't write anything down. And eventually you survive the burning and you are left with the flecks of gold and you get to walk out of the room.
Yep.
You get to emerge with your gold and you're a little bit more grizzled, but goddamn, you won't forget that.
Yep. And when you see anyone trying to do anything besides that, you'll always be hey, have you tried just sitting down and writing the thoughts that come to your mind till nothing happens again?
Well, I'm reminded of Django Unchained and throwing his girl in the hot box. And she was a runaway. She got thrown back in the hot box. And he goes, Jamie Lee Foxx goes and grips his gun. Oh, how he grips his gun and is ready to, but no, puts it back in the holster, put it back. Don't lose the battle. Don't lose this battle. Stay in it. Stay in it. Stay awkward, brave, and kind. Mommy's watching.
That's real shit. But the idea is that, like, for artists, and I believe this, and I feel really fucked up because I don't want to be initiated into helping artists do a goddamn thing because I have that if there's an identity that I've run away from more than anything, it's that one. Bars comes out of a conversation that I had with Emily by night at Vibe Camp. I was already writing shit down because I had a friend Janet that said, just write it down, just make it easy. What's the stuff that you can't help but put in your fucking hand? I'm like, I can't stop touching these goddamn cards. I can't. I've been playing Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, anything, tarot. Anytime you want to put a bit of information on a fucking card, I'm here for it. That which you cannot escape must be you. So I was like, all right.
That which you cannot escape must be you. Ooh, yeah, it's good.
So I just started writing shit down, and they were asking me like, "Yo," because I got intrusive. So I was like, "What's your magic? What's your deal?" They love that. People love being asked these questions. They're not often asked it, but they had the smart idea to turn on me. And they're like, "What's your magic?" And I started saying a bunch of shit halfway through. I think halfway through, I was like, "That's a fucking bar." I wrote it down. I realized, God damn it, it's these fucking cards. This is my magic. And I was like, okay, well, if that's true, if I couldn't get away from it, if that happens to be a thing, if that's been the only issue I run into is that I say a bunch of fucking gold and I like to throw it at pigs for fun, cool thing to do. But at the end of the day, like if this is your gold, then you got no one to blame but yourself for not writing this shit down, which is then I start writing this shit down. Then the fucking book emerged itself out of the piles. I started seeing the connections. I was like, okay, this is a bar, this is a bar. These are really connected. I don't know what's going on here. People are giving me stuff. People are reflecting things. What actually happened is I had a book on flirting. That was the first thing that came out. And then I was pissed. I was like, I've been working on for like almost now like fucking 4 years, this book on allyship, and the book on flirting happens first. Stupid. I'm going to do the exact same process with my feelings about allyship. And once I reached about 150 cards, I was like, I could easily impromptu do a page on every single one of these fucking cards. These are 150-page books each. Okay, now my job is to just take them in, and through some process, this is the edge. This is the thing that I'm still figuring out, but it's finding that increasing alignment. Is figuring out how to cut the wheat from the chaff. How to be like, okay, this is just kind of like a funny thing to say. We'll keep this in like the silly fun drawer versus no, this is something that might be the cornerstone of sort of something else. This might actually be a multiplicity of cornerstones. This one bar might expand to something else. And suddenly it's the ability to say, oh, what's shit if not just like slightly odoriferous clay?
What is a bar but slightly odoriferous? Clay. Odin and odoriferousness. Odin and odor. We'll just cook with that. The odor of Odin. What? Tell me how my ass tastes. I'm Kobe. Tell me how my ass tastes. What's the odor of a championship?
Oh, there's a bar for that. It's sweat, salt, and sea.
Sweat, salt, and sea. The odor of champions. See you later, alligator. Man, we should go to the swamp. We need to do, yeah. Well, we need to do a college football tour. I want to go to the swamp in Gainesville, Florida. I want to go to Alabama for a Crimson Tide. I've been to a baseball game at Ole Miss, and it's the same brunette, tattooed waif slut cutie that I've been drawn to for 25 years, and everyone is the same one. And she keeps appearing at this grocery store in Austin, which is maybe why I sit here, because it's just a rotating door of girls in matching periwinkle Lululemon yoga clothing who are just unbelievably hot. And then on the other side of 6th Street, you cross under Highway 35, and then you've got the tattooed bartenders who are dancers at Coyote Ugly. Or you get the madams who are in their late 30s, early 40s, who know the fucking game. Yeah. And they're strong and they're wounded and they're scarred and they've got crow's feet on their eyes, and they will whip your fucking dick and pull it out like entrails and strangle you with it. She's the priest and the king, and she does it effortlessly. Yeah. All right, here's a bar for you. I like big butts and I cannot lie. My brother liked big butts and cannot tell the truth. How you escape our dungeon.
This one's actually got a punchline, so you ready for it?
I've done been punched in the mouth already, but knock me out.
Enjoy this moment because it gets better, but like really that one sink in. The answer is obviously, and put the drink down. I don't want you spit taking. Show 'em my ass.
Show them your ass. Show them my ass.
I got a big butt, and they can't lie and can't tell the truth. The only thing that breaks the tiebreaker is gotta show my ass.
That's very funny that, the only move for world peace is to pull down your pants. If everyone pulled down their pants, it would be fine.
Yep.
State sanctioned. So under President Kamala Harris's leadership, at noon Eastern on a certain date, we all go live on Zoom. We all pull our pants down. Now no one's afraid of the pussy. No one's afraid of the penis. No one's afraid of a hairy asshole. No one's afraid of a waxed asshole. You show the hairy ones the hairless. You show the hairless the hairy, and we're not afraid. And it's done. And the drama's done. The drama's done. You push one button. You call one meeting. It's done. It's intergenerational warfare is done. Everybody poops. The babies are in it. The toddlers are in it. The teenagers are in it. The 20-somethings are in it. The 60s. Everyone's in it. Nation of poop underwater. One nation of poop underwater.
This is a bar that happened. As far as the future goes, we're still underwater, and this came out in Vibe Camp because like Chesapeake Bay used to be much lower. The ground actually was higher, and so like most of what is filled in the Chesapeake Bay was land at one point, but for the most of the time it's water. And the little bit that we were hanging out on actually was it having receded a bit, but like 100,000 years ago, this was underwater, and in 100,000 years, it'll be underwater. This is just a brief blip where we put civilization, at least as far as that area goes. And being from Kansas, it's like, yeah, you don't get flat places like that weren't underwater. Kansas has limestone and that shit because it was a full inland sea. The places that we choose to build were previously submerged. Okay, here's a Gatling gun set of bars that I think you'll appreciate.
Give me Barrett FF7. Let's go. Let's burn it up. Let's go Cloud Sephiroth. Give me Tifa's tits. Can I please just have Tifa for one night?
I mean, you can if your imagination is well crafted enough. What do they call it? Embodied cognition. Don't be a spare tire person for people who don't know Jack. This one is just a random collection of thoughts, but it was important. No free lunches. Don't eat the food in the Fey realm. If the product is free, then you're the product. I'm not talking down to you. I'm talking to where you're pretending your head's at.
That's a bar.
I know. That's what I got right here.
I got hoes. In different area codes.
So here's the split left hand, right hand. They're both good, but this is basically deciding like what the Take the A Train outro is.
Ba, 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 da.
Exactly. So left hand, right hand. We're full Morpheus on this.
Trombone to the face. How about trombone to the face as a service? I walk in your organization and I do a I'm just gonna punch.
What does the 5 fingers say to the face? No, you got to pick one.
All right, let me see what you're showing me.
White ring.
The white ring.
White ring. All right. Your genius expressed is like nudes you take for yourself. Now, this one's funny. Now, because of the way that it breaks down, this is the sort of like ironic lilt to the TED Talk. This is okay, we've gotten the thing home, we've hit the idea, but like, let's twist the knife a little bit. Do you know, I learned this the other day, it's the craziest fucking fact I've ever learned. I'll probably be talking about this for the rest of my life. The place where the Donner Party ate each other, where they found that the Donner Party ate each other. Do you know what that place is currently right now?
Probably wherever I'm sitting.
I mean, that's a fun metaphysical. I'm talking about the real ass place in the fucking Colorado mountains.
Oh, well, there it is. It's somewhere in the Colorado mountains, and it's probably somewhere that looks obscure, but and if you don't know, now you know.
I wish. Again, this is beautiful. This is the way in which your hope is incredibly wrong but speaks to your character. No, the world is worse than that. It's a picnic area. That is real shit.
That-
They were like, someone was like, "Hey,
The most
a
dramatic
historical record,
battle
you gotta
site is now a picnic area. Well, that's what we hate, because what it shows us is that we need no more heroes. We need boring family men. What we need is to do the
Worse
night.
than that, the fact that you would eat on those grounds, anything of any variety.
That's funny. Well, because we want it harder. If Leonard Cohen said you want it darker, Wendell Britt said you want it harder.
I mean, that is the game mode. It's recognizing that there's motherfuckers who are like, okay,
Infinite market for men who want it harder from a blacker man. Infinite market for white men who want it harder from a blacker man. Honestly, you get to be,
real.
because honestly, they would pay you $100 grand a year to be their slave master, and you can forgive them for slavery, and you can take all those earnings and put it into reparations. You're a reparations engineer. Congratulations, you have a new job. You're the best Peter Pan we have. You're gonna rob Peter and pay Paul. You're gonna do reparations yourself.
You're talking Robin Hood. Robin Hood is Peter Pan with
Robin
the job.
Hood is Peter Pan with a what?
With the job.
Robin Hood. Peter Pan with a job. Oh my God. Oh Lord, have mercy. God, that's good. God, that's fucking good.
That comes off of one of my favorite jokes. So again, there's only 2 games, Pokemon Harvest Moon. Don't get twisted. It doesn't matter if you don't give a shit about these, but
There's only 2 games.
as
Pokemon and Harvest Moon.
yes, as a lifelong Harvest Moon player, I don't truck with these Animal Crossing types for this particular reason. This is full Wichita, son of a country preacher and denizen of Wichita, Kansas, going after the Animal Crossing girlies. Animal Crossing is a game for a motherfucker that's never worked a day in their life. Harvest Moon, you full little red hen. You break up the rocks, you till the soil, you throw the water down, you water the thing, you fix the shit when the hurricane comes, you talk to the townspeople. Again, my mom used to hate watching me play this game. I'd have a messy room playing fake Japanese shores for hours. But again, when I was properly motivated, I'd get the shit done. And then Animal Crossing rolled up, and I was like, so what's the point of this game? You collect bells? How do you get the bells? Just vibing in the forest? Who's in the forest? Animals? How'd they get there? Why are you getting the bells? Because a raccoon has put you in extreme amounts of debt for the right to live on the magical island? Wait, this is the full game? This is the actual game. And you're going to pay this man back not through work, but through conning the town into giving you bells, into paying this dude out.
I want bells. I want bells on my raccoons. I will be a raccoon with bells on.
And here's the thing, there's infrastructure in this game that stops you, because since you're not playing the thing, there's like random encounters. And so the game knows if you reset it to do save scum. The game knows if you're resetting the game so you can get favorable intentions for yourself, and it judges you. The character's name is Resetti. And if you reset your game to get good shit, Resetti scolds you. Tom Nook owns it. I'm like, here's the thing, Harvest Moon might be a game about farming an actual job, but the game doesn't have to create infrastructure to keep you from cheating at it, because there's no such thing as cheating at work.
Well, because if you listen to the U.S. Marine Corps, one of their rules is always cheat, always win. The only unfair fight is the fight that you lose. Cover your enemy's flank. No, expose your enemy's flank at all times. Keep yours covered at all costs. Anything worth shooting once is worth shooting twice. Bullets are cheap. Your life is expensive.
Yep.
Be prepared to kill everybody that you meet.
Yep. Now here's the crazy thing. Every single one of those rules, that's Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon says, hey, 10-year-old, here's a creature that you must domesticate and make a fighting force. Go beat the asses of a bunch of gym leaders all across the country in conceivably one day, because there's no day-night cycle in that game. Harvest Moon, you're going through a faster day-night cycle, but it's like, yo, about 15 minutes of play, that's going to be the day you go to sleep.
That's why War of Warcraft was interesting. Correct me if I'm wrong, that there is day and there is night. Or maybe that was just Diablo 2, because of course the US East was a realm, US West was a realm. You had different accounts for different ones. For each CD key that you had when you bought the game, you get a different login you can't show up on East as your US West person. You have to build up a whole new regimen and reputation on US East because the culture is different. The timing is different. You can cosplay as US East, and there's not, if you show up on time, it's not cosplay because there's no difference between being there and pretending to be. There's no pretending. That's the thing that crumbles. Which is why it was heartbreaking for my Instagram story followers when I retweeted this cartoon of, I've taken a look at your resume. I'm so sorry. And it's like, damn, everything I put on my resume was not necessary. That's not the real interview.
Ugh. Yeah, there is no such thing as pretend is the big one. When people are like, oh, are you being serious or literal? I'll be like, what? Just tell me which one that you're more mad about and I'll deal with that.
There is no such thing as pretend. Just tell me which one you're more mad about.
Are you mad about reality or are you mad about your dreams?
Or are you mad about your dreams? And I would say a variety of things. I would say, yes, Jeff. I would say, thank you, sir. May I have another? I would say not or, and. Because every or can be an and, every and can be an or.
Even as I screech about Taoism, non-dualism, they'll let me go into a dialectic because they can play that game. And I'm like, if I'm giving you an or, it's in my fucking pin bio. When given two options, create a third. Every single time. And then I go, which one would you like? And they're always like, and I'm like, you've already lost. And that was one of my favorite things about Matrix Resurrections. The new Morpheus Smith entity, which is a perfect match for those characters, because it's just like, that's just good guy Smith. He's still doing the programming. He's still trying to figure out how to like turn people into their various aims. He's got to do it via shit and slop in the mountains, and Smith has the access to like resources, but it's the same fucking job. Brilliant move. On top of the fact they probably couldn't get Lawrence Fishburne, and they wouldn't want him because we love him, but homie's old. That was probably the last mentally physical movie that Lawrence Fishburne did were those Matrix movies 20 years ago. But they split them up and he gives them the choice. And he's like, the choice is an initiation. The choice doesn't matter. You know the choice, but you have to seem like you have another one for the alchemy to go right. Like they were able to be object level about that, which is like the choice has already been made by your fucking DNA, by your circumstances. It's dope. The question is, from the absurdist nihilist mode, after nihilism is absurdity, and after absurdity is fun. Are you willing to go through the valley of the shadows of the yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadows of death? If you walk through it, it's just Looney Tunes land. That's the thing that separates Looney Tunes land from our reality. It's just like, cool. Are you willing to die so you can never die again?
Wow. Bar.
That one's a little too Jesus-y. Like you can pull that one out of scripture, so I'm not gonna keep that one.
That's a bar you don't need. That doesn't need to be your bar anymore. You can let that one, you can let the wolves have that one.
We can let, well, they're not listening to it, so it's a bar that it's not novel enough.
If you haven't heard that one, if that one still shocks you, you're not ready for the rest of my book.
Jesus Christ. Jesus. Oh my God. I don't want to, but okay, you're here. You're challenging me. I like it. The first chapter of this book, I'm very proud of it. I did it at a spike. It turns out I'm the most.
See, well, now I'm actually trying. Oh, you want me to try?
Shut up. Okay.
Oh, you want me to try?
Shut up. So the first chapter of this damn book, again, it came out of spite, but then all my best creativity comes out of spite. It's called The Helpfulness of Being Unhelpful. And it's a pure manifesto on do not go down this path. It's bad here. It's wretched. The reason that you're suffering is not something that will really meaningfully be like a race. And in fact, because I am such a fucking Taoist Christian, you need to understand that like you're part of an ecology and a lot of your usefulness has already been taken care of for you. Your job is to just align with it or not align with it. And they talked about the Taoist tree of the big trees, a big tree on a hill. The sap, terrible, slightly acidic. The trees, gnarled, can't cut it, can't make it into anything. If it bore fruit, it would be chopped down immediately and used for the fruit. If it had good branches that were chill, they'd be using it for boats. But as a result, it is utterly useless. And so now people can meet underneath its trees and get shade. That is the usefulness of being useless. And I say this, don't play this fucking game. But if you're going to play it fucking right. The next one is everything you needed to learn here, you could have learned by not avoiding being a goddamn Christian.
Yeah.
There's already a book that says how to do this shit. You don't like that one, so now I gotta make up a whole crazy rigmarole.
Yeah. Crazy rigmarole as a service, as infrastructure. Crazy rigmarole as infrastructure. He will buy that, which means so will 3 to 7 others. And there's your quiver. And if you monetize that, you have money to build a home in which a woman can surrender to you and quiver 3x a day at least forever. Forever.
Forever. R.I.P.
Forever.
Daddy.
Forever.
James Earl Jones. I cheated a little bit, but this one's correct, and it's much faster to write. Everything about allyship you could have learned from ancient wisdom texts.
That's a vanilla ice cream version of what you offer, and some people only need vanilla.
And that's
a lot
cool.
of customers.
I mean, like, if someone really wants to do this, I'll be like, go find the fucking Quran, go find a copy of the Bible, go find the Heart Sutra, go find the fucking Tao Te Ching. Everything you fucking need to know is there. But, and I will admit, those motherfuckers did not have the technology that we have right now. And one of the technologies for engagement, the highest level engagement technology that we have made, possibly for fucking ever, is games. The end. You already know how to do this shit, but it hasn't been made into a game, so I will gladly teach you a game of doing this thing that you already know how to fucking do. And that's ultimately the promise. The first present is, if you're reading this, there's a very strong likelihood that you being off the path at all is probably better for the world. The second one is that, like, you don't know the ways in which you fucking up actually has utility, so there's a case to be made that you should just continue doing what you want. Also, every single wisdom tradition has already taught you the practice of well-being. If you just stick with it, it'll be chill. But they had to use coercion. They had to use mind control. They had to use all this stuff to keep people on the path. I'm going to try and use novelty, and specifically self-generated novelty. And if you can ride this path on that, cool. If not, you've already paid me to read these words, so I'm going to shit. And you'll have to return it to Amazon, not to me, so get out of my fucking face.
Yeah, Amazon. Have you spent much time talking to Paul Millard?
Mm-mm.
You know who he is, right?
I know who he is. What's this face? You seem saddened by this knowledge.
Oh.
Well, while you wait, here's
Amazon and how to sell your manifesto slash playbook slash slag pile. And should you get it from local publishers? You know what? Okay, Portland, Oregon. Talk to me about the book industry in your area.
Why the hell would I do that? I mean, I'm gonna put it on a card. I'm gonna write it down. There's a joke here about local book publishers in your area. There's a porn bit, like lusty book editors in your area.
Lusty book editors.
I can't land it exactly, but I can. The skill that I'm trying to cultivate in myself and others is, I call it, and it's awful. I hate puns. Cannot stress enough. Hate the fuck out of puns. But now, having made this game called Bars, a lot of puns emerge from that. It's whatever. But it's called barb prehension. It is that feeling of the bar hasn't arrived yet, but I know there's something there. And you know, because you're hand waving around it. A bar is precise. It is like, boom, no, that is already a bar. Lusty editors, lusty book managers in your area. It's not fully done yet, but I can already know that, like, this is the area that it covers. Because you're absolutely right. I totally bypassed that. In fact, I 100% chose to write and finish this book in Wichita, Kansas, to avoid the booksellers in the area. Because it's insane people shit. It's insane people writing garbo. Here's the thing. Actually, I respect this particular book. So, Chichi Agoram writes The Enneagram for Black Liberation. This is a vibey title. Return to who you are beneath the armor you carry. In theory, this is written for Black people. The Black liberation that they would promise should be for Black people. 100% this book is being sold to and marketed to those white femmes that we were talking about. And within couldn't possibly have less to do with Black liberation. Instead, is one of the most phenomenal introductions to the Enneagram that I've ever fucking read. They study under the same tradition that I do. This book,
yeah. Do you want to write Black liberation for white ladies?
No, I want to write actual wisdom traditions that people will buy. And right now,
but they won't buy that. They'll buy liberation. If you can somehow sell them an indulgence, like the church, get out of sin free for $24.99.
I'm mad about it.
I know.
An indulgence.
Welcome to a GP Lewis TED Talk. I'm going to write this down because I'm mad about it. What if you and I worked together and we went in as a team? I make people mad, you watch, and then we switch.
That's good cop, bad cop. I'm not mad about it.
I'm a good cop, and I'm a really good bad cop. I don't think anyone could match my bad cop, but I could be wrong. Brian Chesky is fucking on one.
Brian Chesky?
Bro is on.
You talking about Papa Brian? You know my background, yes. That is also what I did in Portland, Oregon. Papa Brian.
That's why I said it. If I threaten your father, you get unstable. And then I can knock you down from 16 different ways because you are then leap into good boy mode. And if you're a level 99 paladin and I can shrink you down to level 2 by insulting your daddy, then I'm level 97. I could be level 12. I could be level 15.
That is how any level person can defeat a paladin. It doesn't destroy their level, it moves them out of their domain. Because if you've taken an oath, your powers fully go away if you break a paladin oath. So that self-defense is not just self-defense, it's the defense of the other people that oath is created to protect. I'm just fascinated because I'm just like, what the hell has Uncle Brian been saying these days? What the god, like, I thought they put him out to pasture and got a fucking CFO from Bridgewater to run that.
Oh, I know. And then imagine if you get ousted because he's a paladin and he's been ousted. There's nothing more dangerous than a level 99 paladin who's pushed out of the kingdom because he now can't function reasonably. He can't function reasonably because
a paladin whose god dies doesn't necessarily lose their power, and that's crazy.
But they lose their chill because they're used to having 10,000 pieces on the board, and now they get back to sitting at a tree and holding a dull knife and say, okay, you need to rebuild the cathedral with a dull knife and a tree that's really strong. And you're used to having it all ironed down into a chessboard, and you've got your rooms and rooms and rooms and a whole Google Maps worth of chessboards and battlefields that you've been monitoring at 12 cognition bytes a clip, and you've been monitoring 14,000 chessboards second by second, and now you have a dull knife and a tree, and it's going to take you 60 years. So what do? You get
to scribe it.
You get to scribe. So you put down the knife and pick up a pen.
No, you keep the knife and you snarl it into the goddamn bark of the tree.
And say, Brian was here and he was a very good boy.
No,
and then you knife yourself.
You can say whatever the hell you want there. The thing here, though, that is the key that I don't want to get lost is this is a successful book that is a beneficent grift. Like, as I look at it, I'm like, the only crisis of the damn book is the title. If they just said, The Enneagram by Chichi. But it's perversion, it's incorrectness.
Successful book, GF. What kind of grift was it?
A beneficent grift.
Beneficent grift.
That's what being a dungeon master is. You have to look your fucking players in the face and say, I'm looking out for you. I'm giving you new tools. I create every magic object, knowing full well that you play every single villain. Every single villain they're gonna see comes from your
I
imagination.
think you said play every single build. Play every single build. No, play every single. All the single villains, all the single villains, all the single villains, all the
Every
single
single
villains,
villain,
all the
every
single
bad
villains,
traumatic
all the
thing.
single villains.
Play the game.
Put your swords up.
They'll thank you for it and weirdly dissociate from the fact that it's just like, I gave you a crisis that then you overcame, that then you're thanking me for giving the opportunity to overcome. Fucking crazy. It's one of the few places where I can do that. Everything else is, I'm promising you this, or allowing you to promise yourself this through me. And then I get up, I do exactly what I say I'm gonna do. Everyone's like, well, this was great, but it didn't make me feel good about this stuff. I'm like, there is less of a self to deal with now. Having done with me, you should be fine. But that motherfucker's not gonna write testimonials. The self I shrink people down to cease to write about shit. They go about their fucking business.
Before enlightenment, get testimonials written.
That's funny. I hate that. That's so good.
After enlightenment, stay alive and love the game.
No. It's if you're actually playing the game, it's before enlightenment, get testimonials. After enlightenment, get testimonials.
It's the same game. It's the same picture.
Yes. First there is a mountain, then there is no mountain, then there is a mountain. First there is a solopreneur business, then there is no solopreneur business, then there's a solopreneur business.
The disappearing and reappearing act of the solopreneur matches the dappled sunlight.
Ooh, no, there is a bar in there. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to pull this one off. I fucking love it though, because it like a lot of the bars, I'll be completely real. Petty Pendergrass, he likes impact play. Giuseppe from the docks. He sees the boats, they come and they go on. He smoked the Lucky Strike cigarettes. He write the poetry. That's we love him. We love Giuseppe. That's the sword of my compassion. He wields the sword of kindness. Now, Petty for a long time was wielding the sword of kindness because why the fuck not? Free sword. Once Giuseppe came out, it's just like, this ain't my damn sword. Because Petty does not fight with weapons. Petty is the weapon. Petty fights with punchlines. So a lot of the bars that I'm throwing are literal impact plays, just like bop, bop, kidney strike, bop, jab, uppercut. But there's a couple that like you grab and you're like, oh, that's a bar for Giuseppe. That's Giuseppe's business. And this one said,
That's a bar for Giuseppe. God,
you need both light and shadow to make the ocean sparkle.
I need Waluigi like you need Giuseppe.
That's heartbreaking. You need Waluigi. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I broke Wendell Britt's heart at minute. At minutes. What minute are we on? We're at 1:36 at minute. So that's 97. At the 97th minute, we say thank God for stoppage time.
Right? Okay, so here's the thing. We're going to do a wrap up. I hear it. I don't not hear it. But what I am saying is, I need the chop wood, carry water of it all, and it may have nothing to do with these fucking ideas. So here's what I'm going to pitch to you. This is the idea that I'm pitching to everybody. It's something that I do want to do in the next 90 days. We're going to make a game out of this. Having now invented this fucking crazy game, the actual pitch is bars on crop tops, words on booty shorts.
Bars, hold on. Bars on crop tops, what on booty shorts?
Words on booty shorts.
What's the difference between a bar and a word?
Doesn't matter. The bar is called bars on crop tops, words on booty shorts. The business is sell crop tops and booty shorts with noetic sayings on them. If they're actually worth a damn, they will convert into money. And we don't even have to play this other game because at the end of the day, the shit that just comes off of us has value. It is not put in a valuable context. They're not going to sit at the side of the road listening to a screech. They might, but until we put out a tip jar, until we find them in the exact moment, but there's the hunger for a vibey object of which the inscription is just the bar itself.
So all of a sudden we go from mommy, daddy put me in a valuable context. You realize you are already.
Yeah.
But then what do we do? Zoom calls with the homies, become $1 million solopreneur, hang out with solopreneurs. I hate solopreneurs. I don't want to
Okay.
hang out with them.
Do you think your hatred of solopreneurs will produce fewer or less bars?
Fuck you. I lost in penalty shootouts. I tied the game at minute 97. We went to penalties, and you just Leo Messi'd my.
Because I heard it. I didn't want to, I don't want to scare you. I hear the collaboration desire, and I also know I am currently full force on how do I make money, not necessarily even peddling my skills. There's a very real chance that that is just something that I'm doing. That's Johnny Appleseed shit. But John Appleseed was also a preacher and like had income as he was walking around the goddamn country. The stuff you're talking about, I'm like, yeah, that sounds fucking sick. We're gonna need Airbnbs. Like, this is my operations brain, who often doesn't play. Goblin Todd doesn't necessarily play the artist mode. Honestly, in this a lot of ways, you have been seeing Giuseppe at work. Giuseppe is the artist. Giuseppe is the poet. Giuseppe knows what it feels like to get hit, and that's what incents Petty to go hit other people. He's the one that knows.
A 10x hitter makes 5 hitters twice as good.
That's a fucking bar, and I don't even know what that fucking means.
Well, like a 10x engineer makes 5 engineers twice as good. Is that a goal?
What is it? 10x hitter makes
5 hitters twice as good. A 10x noun makes 5 nouns twice as good.
So here's the thing. People will pay money with the right receptacle for what is to us inane, kind of funny bullshit. But here's the thing. That's a whole comedy career. That's a comedy career where you don't have to get on the fucking stage. That's a comedy career where the stage itself
Sarah Cooper
money.
Sarah Cooper went from being a black woman at Google and realizing nobody here cares about what's written on these boards. You're going to take a picture of it and pretend to care, and nobody cares. And you don't need to. You go have lunch.
Yep. So here's number one. And this is, again, I want everything filtered through this because the loop is mechanical. It is AI. It is infrastructural. It's actual Legos at this point because, as you can tell, I can't stop doing this. And your goal is Amazon yourself some blank fucking cards. Get yourself, I bought 12 of these sons of bitches, the Pentel sign, specifically these, not Sharpies. Sharpies stink. Sharpies will bleed eventually. This motherfucker is the one. Find your own pen. I'll give a shit. Keep these on you at all times and know that this is the shit that we get to toss into the composter that produces, at the very least, an artifact. An artifact someone has to buy and that will buy on the other side of being like, I want to be on these motherfuckers' team. That fucking hit, and I need a reminder of it at all times. Or at the very least, the people who are like, I'm not really charitable like that, so I don't really want to fuck with Wendell's like weird nonprofit thing, but like, I'll gladly give him 25 bucks for this piece of junk that's ultimately gonna be the most talked about fucking thing in my goddamn apparel. The thing that, like, as I walk down the street wearing, people give me attention for.
Sorry, I had to text you. I'm charitable differently. And I quoted the rich white bitch who gets Botox. I'm charitable differently. I'm charitable differently. I need to ask my husband. Show me a fucking woman who doesn't want a husband she needs to ask. Show me one.
Plot armor. It's the reason, actually, you'll appreciate this. Basicness isn't because basic isn't quality. Basic actually requires a certain level of quality. Uggs have to be this good. Chipotle has to be this delicious. Pumpkin spice has to slap that hard. The issue is that it includes your actual taste. It's not that the basic shit isn't good. It's that you know nothing about someone for liking it.
All right, we're at 1 hour, 42 minutes, 24 seconds.
All right. So that's where I'm headed. I've got, you know, there's different paths. You can.
I'll see you in Portland. We're going to Portland. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you can join the crazy church of allyship and do the stuff. We're pivoting it into the goddamn nonprofit. We're doing the such. But I see you, Howard Dean. I get it. I was there. That's what we used to do at Ultimate Frisbee. We'd sit on the line. We'd have our puller. And we would barbaric yacht Howard Dean and run down the fucking field. So I know. But what I'm saying is it's fuck you, pay me game. It's fuck you, pay me game. And it's the game where I'm like, it's there. There's no reason not to. It's an alignment. It's got the stuff. It's got everything about a game minus the need to even be helpful. All we got to do is track impact. Vibes and impact. Purely a vibes to money engine is what we're looking for. Because I like helping people, but I actually like it. It's a game that I will pay money to do. It's a game I'll lose money to do, and I can't invite people into that. That's crazy.
So, okay, so tell me what the Unreal Engine should be.
I mean, the Unreal Engine should be obviously like jamming podcast style, getting in front of as many people as possible, drawing their bars out, being able to say, yo, we're making a limited edition t-shirt based off the bar that came out of this conversation that we had with so-and-so. So that motherfucker's fans buy the goddamn t-shirt. Do a profit share with the motherfucker.
Yes. How limited will the editions get?
I mean, limited to the edition of the Money in the Bank. You just say like, yo, I can afford to make 100 of these motherfuckers.
What happens when Ben Bernanke is your homeboy and you're his black friend in residence, and he says,
Yes.
we can print as much money as we want?
That's a different, if Ben Bernanke rolls up for that, I have fully different schemes for that person. This is what I call a bug out business.
Maybe you got to get to one scheme, because this goes back to monogamy too. Monogamy, the British psychoanalyst Adam Phillips says, monogamy is a way of getting the versions of ourselves down to a minimum.
Yeah. But a weird thing to say to a dungeon master, I play all the NPCs. Like that will atrophy my skill set. But truly, this is a subtype called bug out business, because ultimately this last fucking chaotic era of my life, lose the job, lose the housing as I have like an evil overlord, basically the Ben Bernanke of that, where I'm just like, yeah, I didn't ink a skillful enough deal with my fucking Balrog, and so I had to fucking leave in the middle of the night.
I didn't ink a what enough?
Skillful enough deal. You gotta work with the devil again. Let's just put it this way.
I had to leave in the night.
There are evil paladins. Paladins are about oaths and pacts. Like, as far as I'm concerned, there's not really a meaningful difference between a warlock and a paladin. Do you have an otherworldly being? Do you have a contract with them?
Washington, D.C. runs on promises.
Yep. And the question is, you'll see someone be like, I'm a paladin. I'll be like, you have to prove to me that actually you're not a lich thrall. They're the same mechanically, just they use different skill sets.
A lich thrall?
A lich thrall.
Spell that, please.
Lichthrall. Because a paladin's a champion, a lich thrall is simultaneously the product. That's the thing that the life force is being taken out of. It is the warrior that is being sent out to go get more thralls. Like the outside in, aside from aesthetics, like they aren't able to be told the difference of, except you break a pact with a lich, it just eats you. You break a pact with your god, you lose all your powers.
So the lich thrall can be spawned as a hologram and sent out to go convince anyone who could be convinced by that lich thrall, because if we're working at Central Intelligence, we know exactly which citizen will succumb to which psyop, and you print a lich thrall for that person, and that lich thrall looks real and is product marketing for the war that the paladin champion and his team want to fight.
Ugh, I mean, that's a galaxy brain version of it. I'm just trying to figure out, like, it's a different game whether you're working with a lich versus you're working with like a god. It's, you ink a different deal, you've got different like deal.
But how do you tell? How will you know the difference when the technology gets so good in about 12 minutes that this plan's already because it's so, if I'm saying it, it's already obvious.
So here's the thing, and this is where as I've been avoiding my spiritualism, this is where the spiritualist comes from. Enough ranks and wisdom will tell you.
Yep.
One of my strategies for my inner shadow that I had to do.
So what about the white women activist who keeps saying no more ranks, no more hierarchy?
Oh, okay. Put an asterisk on that one. That's for another conversation. I got a whole thing. The end of the day is they've not been hurt enough by that. Like, yeah, it doesn't work. Like, I've seen it work enough to be like, to even say no ranks would be to rank no ranks higher than non-ranks. Like, it has a performative contradiction. It cannot hold up.
Okay, so step 1, 2, 3. Before enlightenment, no ranks. After enlightenment, no ranks. But it's 3-step. It's 1, no ranks. 2, question mark, pain, 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 battle, battle, battle. 3, no ranks.
Yeah, except the issue is that it actually is the complete inverse. It's ranks, no ranks, ranks. We have trophic levels in nature. Trees grow up for some reason. Like ranks exist. Then we decide, oh, let's get rid of ranks. And then we're like, actually, it's skillful ranking that we're lacking in.
How about fear of ranking rules every woman near us?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm not writing that shit down, but you get it. I'm just saying this battle.
It's
this
in
battle
our texts. It's on your
and
phone. The
teaches all
NSA will think it
gross-
was you because what I can do is by a black magic switch the sends and receives. All of a sudden, I can spin the sword to the NSA agent saying, "No, I'm Wendell Britt. He's Geoffrey Lewis."
Oh, we gotta again put another asterisk on this. Ender's Game. Ender's Game. They
How about-
already did shit in Ender's Game. It was fantastic.
How about we have an Ender's Game BF and a starter pack GF?
That's wild. So, the idea though is that like the game is infinitely small. It teaches you the skills that you're gonna have to put in
I
the larger
hate
game,
how-
which
I
is
hate how
really
small
shit
the game-
about your audience.
I hate how small the game really is.
It's bars on booty shorts. It's and literally, as a horn dog that I am, I'm just like, and now you have an excuse to hit up every baddie that you know to put your shit on their stuff to take photos of them.
It's bards on booty shorts. The bard doesn't care what the booty shorts say. He's looking for the juice behind it.
Either way, that's the game that I'm playing in fucking Portland, Oregon. Is what's the new signal for higher level development, coolness, and I'm like, it's gonna be as clear as fucking day, technochrome, shit out of my head and mouth, directly to like the homies, and people be like, "Where'd you get that?" Well, I met this cat named fucking Wendell, and here's the thing: both those motherfuckers have already paid me before I've even fucking talked to them.
We come prepaid.
Yep.
Prepaid wireless, baby.
If this shit is as valuable as our egos are convinced they are, we gotta show up to the fucking arcade. The end.
G Mobile, prepaid, wireless, headless, post bureaucrat, jazz, woo man. That's enough. Prepaid, wireless, headless, post bureaucrat, jazz, woo man.
And the idea is, okay, so Threadless died, right? But what is dead may never die. Drop one of these motherfuckers monthly. Literally spend an entire month distilling it into one zeitgeisty moment for that month. Pre-sold, pre-purchased. Let them into the process somehow. Create content about making it doesn't matter at the end of the day. One shirt to rule them all.
As long as you're as long as you're saying something.
November 2024 bar.
As long as you're saying something, it doesn't matter what you're saying.
And here's the thing:
you're talking or not talking.
Ooh, actually, here it is. Sorry, this is my last bar, then I'm done.
Okay.
Bring back the holographic Charizard. Let your words be the holographic Charizard everyone wants to put on their titties. That's a fucking bar.
I want to be on the girls' titties. God, that's so good. Be the holographic Charizard everyone wants to put on their titties. There it is. I think we should ship this game and say we won this game. God damn, that's a good game, dude. Scene. Finito. The umpire blows the whistle. We both get to meet. We get to swap jerseys, and they're filming us. And the girls bring us orange slices wearing Charizards on their titties. And it's just...
Now, if motherfuckers then want to produce their own bards, now we've got a course. Now that's the game. Pay to play, motherfuckers. All right. Yeah, I mean, always. I mean, I'm humble enough to say, like, and this is how I've been tracking it. Like the last few months, literally, I can tell the generativity of a dynamic of a connection based on how many bards are produced. We were producing bards before bards even existed. So I'm no longer sheepish, but the key is now rhythm, directionality, generativity. What's the next step? We got stuff on there. I gotta pee and I gotta think.
I gotta pee and I gotta think. I gotta eat.
The homework is just hit me up tomorrow. Your actual homework is get your fucking bar.
Wendell, if you ask, if you tell me one more time, If you tell me one more time to get my bars, I'm gonna put you in the dungeon of my Lincoln bio, like the Archangel Raphael locked Azazel in a dungeon in the desert, and God told me to keep him there because at the end of time we're gonna throw him in the lake of fire. I'm gonna make you live. I'm going to take your home and make my link tree your home.
I would love.
If you tell me one more time,
I want to hear
make
this
my
sound.
bars.
That's the only difference. That's beautiful. I want to hear the shuffle.
Snarling about my vacant link tree as a bloviation divine.
I don't know why, and I don't really particularly care.
Don't know why. Nora Jones. Nora Jones, come sing to us. Can he? And the boys can't end the game. Nora Jones is coming to sing. Don't know why they can't end the game. Bow, bow, do, 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 da, do, do, da. I got 3+ octaves plus all this shit.
They lust for the cards. The children yearn for the mines.
The cards and the mines, but show me a Brene Brown suffering, decked with dust. I want to see her in the Chilean mines, and she has to give blowjobs to all the fucking Mexicans. Okay, now I'm done. I'm done.
Crazy and unhinged, and we love it. All right, till next time.
I love you, dude. This was the best of my life. This was great.
Hell yeah.
All right, dude.